Cook when you feel like it, save on propane, keep the boat cooler and less humid, and still enjoy a hot meal at the end of the day? Count me in. Hi, I'm Carolyn Sherlock, and on this episode of the Boat Galley Podcast, I'll share why I love my thermal cooker and why you might want to consider having one on your boat. Today's episode of the Boat Galley Podcast is sponsored by Magma Products, makers of the best grills and cookware for your boat. Cook for a crowd with ease on the Newport Classic Grill, or whip up a gourmet meal using cookware that nests to take up less space. I love all my Magma products. Visit magmaproducts.com to learn more and use coupon code BG20 for 20% off through October 31st, 2021. Now limit one use per customer. Go beyond the backyard. Make the world your kitchen using Magma products. Wow, I love my thermal cooker. It has made getting dinner so much less hectic. Why didn't I get one years ago? Well, let's start with what's a thermal cooker. A thermal cooker is basically a non-electric crock pot. It's sort of a really big thermos, but with a removable interior pan, or sometimes two. In short, you start your food cooking on the stove, browning your meat, onions, whatever, and then adding your other ingredients. And then put the pans into the thermal cooker, put the lid down, and let it sit for up to 8 hours. The food cooks while you're doing whatever else you want to, and all you do at dinner time is serve up. Okay, that's a bit of an oversimplification. There are different techniques for different types of food. Some cook in the thermal cookers, others cooked ahead of time and stay warm in the thermal cooker, and others may require a bit of finish up after cooking in the thermal cooker. For me, the big deal is that I can cook whenever it's convenient for me during the day, and the food is ready to go when we want to eat. We tend to do things around the boat in the morning, and then do bigger projects or things off the boat in the afternoon. I like to enjoy happy hour with Dave, or maybe we have friends over or go to their boat. For all these reasons, late afternoon is just a really hectic time for me to cook. Now, in the past, that usually means that I start dinner after we've had a drink for happy hour, and then we end up eating at 8 or so. But that's not really good for Dave's acid reflux. So I try to have dinner earlier, and would manage to do it for a couple of days. And then we'd get working on something in the afternoon, and I'd revert back to the old patterns. I'd seen thermal cookers in the past, and thought one maybe could help. But they were pretty darned expensive for something that I didn't really know if I'd find useful. And the other option that I saw was the Wonder Bag, and while they were cheaper, they take up a lot of space to store. Then I found the Saratoga Jack's thermal cooker, and there were a lot of things that appealed to me about it, including that it was cheaper. I bought it. All I can say is I love it. I use it 3 or 4 times a week, particularly on days when I know we have something planned for the afternoon. Now, in addition to letting me start dinner whenever I feel like it, the thermal cooker has other benefits. It saves on propane, or if you have some other kind of stove fuel, whatever you use retained heat to do most of the cooking. There is a lot less heat on the boat on hot days. Less humidity in the boat since the lid fits very tightly. And I can leave the boat while the meal is cooking, whether for socializing, snorkeling, exploring ashore, or even just errands. Now, it's great underway. I can start dinner before we leave, plop the cooker in the sink underway so it doesn't slide, and open it up to a ready meal, or on a longer passage, a much shorter time spent with a pan on the stove. It's also perfect for taking to potlucks. The outside is cool, there's a nice lock and carry handle, and my food is hot when we serve it up. And you can also use it for taking cold foods to a potluck by putting ice in the bottom pan and then food in the top pan. It's a great way to transport salads or even serve things like Jell-O. Now, thermal cookers work on a simple principle of having food that is hot, surrounded by hot liquid, continuing to cook. Now, the secrets to success include having the food thoroughly hot. You have to watch out if you start with frozen meat or vegetables to make sure that the food is hot and not just the liquid that's in the pan. You have to have sufficient liquid boiling in the pan and a quick transition from stove to being in the thermal cooker with the lid on it. The fuller the thermal cooker, the less the food will cool down and the better it will cook. But because it does cool off slightly over time, food doesn't overcook like what can happen with a crock pot. Okay, so how do I actually use it? Well, some days I may start dinner at 9 a.m., others at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So I get the question of how does that work? Well, I've learned that if I let something cook a little longer on the stove, it needs less time in the thermal cooker. So if life interferes and I start cooking later than usual, I just let it go maybe 30 minutes on the stove instead of 10, and then I put it in the cooker. If things really get out of hand, I can even cook dinner completely on the stove in late afternoon, then slip it into the thermal cooker, say while we have a sundowner, and then just keep it hot until we want to eat. I wouldn't say it actually takes less time in the galley. I still do the same prep work, but the fact that I don't have to babysit a lit stove and I can do the prep work when it suits me is huge. Anything that cooks in liquid or is liquid absorbed, such as rice dishes, is a candidate for the thermal cooker. A number of things that I've done include chili, pot roast, soups, red beans and rice, jambalaya, gumbo, Mexican-style taco meat, which is really more like pulled beef. You can do it also with any of those. Spanish rice, unstuffed cabbage, spaghetti sauce, Swiss steak, curries, corned beef, ham and beans, sloppy joes. And things that I've done in the top half, because I've got a two-pan part of mine. In the top half, rice, dried beans, boiled potatoes, sweet potatoes, hard-boiled eggs, and spaghetti sauce all have worked really well. Now, I've only scratched the surface here of what can be done in a thermal cooker. Basically, it's things that can have plenty of liquids. The booklet that comes with the thermal cooker will tell you about a lot of other techniques and so forth, and you can start experimenting. I have been extremely happy with the Saratoga Jack's thermal cooker. You can find them on Amazon. We've also put some other links for that and for some other thermal cookers all in the show notes. You can take a look at them. There's lots of brands of thermal cookers. I don't have experience with them all, but when you're looking at them, look at the size. Make sure that it's a reasonable amount for the number of people that you have. If it holds too much for the number of people that you have, there's going to be a lot of airspace inside and it won't cook well. The insulation, vacuum insulation is best. Foam is second. The number of pans that it has, I really like 2. It gives me more flexibility. If I want to make a large batch of something, I can just use the larger pan. If I want to make a small batch, I fill the small pan with boiling water to have plenty of hot mass inside. Look at the pan bottoms. Thicker is better. Some of them will work with induction burners, some won't. And finally, look at the size of the whole unit. Where will you store it? Where will it sit where it's in use? Can you put it in the sink or another safe place while using it underway? Anyways, I think that most people really will enjoy a thermal cooker, find it useful, find it helpful. So hope you're one of them. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Boat Galley Podcast. Please tell your friends about it. Listen in every week. Be sure to subscribe.